This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately.
Oh yeah, the robot. Yeah, I was a little bit nervous about even being able to do a show. Yeah, I was sitting here on my computer and I was just messing around with the middle monitor. I was just had a mouse on it and the screen went pfft. And that's just the normal one that I use, and I was just, holy crap. And then I had to drive all the way over to like Best Buy and buy another. I bought a 27-inch monitor. You know, I had 25s, but it looks about the same. I mean, it's not much different really. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I did have 27-inch monitors, but that's what we got now. And then when I added the monitor, it changed all the icons around, and man, I have so many icons that I had to go find the ones that I use. But everything's working now, so that's good. Are you by yourself, Blue? Blue, are you by yourself? Yeah. Poor guy. The day was alright. I gotta get my tooth pulled tomorrow. I'm sort of wondering how the show's gonna work. Having one of my wisdom teeth pulled. So I'm trying to figure out how that's gonna, can I do a show? How are you talk like that? Yeah, I was thinking about that. I mean, hopefully I don't sound like that because they have to inject shots in there. But I guess we'll have to give it a go. You know how it goes, right? Know what? Yeah, that's William Zambrano. Crypto Will. Because he's so into cryptocurrency now. Yeah. I'm gonna want to sleep, huh? Jeez. No way. Yes, I'm gonna give it a go. I can't miss it, it's like I gotta do the show. Anyway. Yeah, so I don't remember who it was, but somebody sent me this Portland cold case a while back, and they didn't really have any newspaper articles, but I found a whole bunch of newspaper articles using this other service that happened to have a lot of the Oregonian stuff. And so I figured we could I didn't have as much time because I was running around. At 3 o'clock, I had to run around to go get this other monitor. So I wasn't able to really, maybe we could do a call-in show after that or something, but. Well, it's just one tooth. Seems like I should be feeling okay. I don't know. How long does it take before you can, eat food again? Yeah, obviously if I can, I'll do it. If I absolutely feel like crap, I won't do it. but I'll give it a try. A shot. And some of my upper ones. I don't know. Well, iPhones suck for YouTube. I mean, they're probably the worst thing in the world for YouTube. They didn't. People at YouTube forgot that iPhones existed. YouTube just is. They're very unhelpful. Ever. They really don't give a shit about the people who, do shows and make money for them, and they really just don't care at all. It's sad. Every time I get a hold of them, you get some jackass. Oh, I understand how you feel. Here's a couple forms you can fill out. Well, that doesn't work for what I'm trying to tell you. Like, for example, if somebody puts out your privacy information and they put it on their community wall, apparently there's no way to report that because you can only report videos that put out your private information. Well, how stupid, YouTube. Figure out a mechanism. God. Unbelievable. I'm gonna tweet them. I think it's a worthy tweet to say, YouTube, when somebody puts out your private information on a community post, why is there no ability to report the violation? The thing is contingent on telling them what part of the video. Like, you have to give them the time code, and if you don't do the time code, it's stupid. God, drives me nuts. And they just never help on anything. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Well, I'll just tweet it, and if people want to retweet it, then they can do it. Also, we are on the third day of the new year. Okay? And I know it's early in the year, but hey, look at that. We're almost at 70,400. One away. Somebody out there, hit that subscribe button. Even if you hate my guts, just do it. Let's see it hit 7,400. I haven't built the Supermax prison yet. I'm going to think through that one. Probably have like a menu of what you can, like a file. Something to get me the hell out of it. Yeah. Hoppy. I'm not sure what that means. Anyways, here we go. I'm going to get onto the case. But if you'd like to help support the channel via Super Chats or channel membership, I donate over 50% of the channel net income to charities. And if that's something if you feel like helping me out and charities, that's great. If you want to just send straight into a charity, feel free to do that as well. But if you'd like to help me, knowing that as we pool all the money together, we donate massive amounts of money, which led to over $42,000. It's $45,000 total if you include Jeff S. in there. That's pretty crazy, right? That's nuts. Why not, Gray Wolf? It's pretty easy. You just hit the button right below it. Oh, there's Chloe. Man, she jumped up there and fell asleep. Almost immediately. Wow. Poor Chloe. Yeah, she's really close. Yeah. So this is a case of Sharon Ryan in Portland. She was a dancer at the school, 1976. Maybe in a few days or something, maybe I'll drive around to the different spots. I don't know. We'll see what it's like. Yeah. Well, I don't know. You have to use the. Let me give you the link. Maybe this is what you need. Hold on a second. Yeah. So try this link right here, Grey Wolf. Try this one. I just put it in the chat there. I also got rid of the masks off of Blue and Chloe and that weirdo from Ancient Aliens. Yeah, so try that link I just put in there, Grey Wolf. That should probably work. Okay, here we go. So there's Sharon Ryan. There really isn't any good pictures of her out there. Alright, so here we go. Police and family members fear foul play, and the disappearance in this article is December 18th, 1976. They fear foul play in the disappearance of a 17-year-old ballet student while she was on a brief errand. Hey, all right. Crypto Will became a freak again. There we go. Well, there's another one. Peggy Day as well. Police and family members fear foul play in the disappearance of a 17-year-old ballet student while she was on a brief errand to the store Thursday evening in Northeast Portland. Sharon Ryan, daughter of William J. Ryan, and now we can go at 2214 Southeast 47. 2214 Southeast. And these homes usually stay the same. Right there. They're usually really pretty homes over there. Yeah, so that's, you know, the construction on some of these homes over there was so awesome. And, you know, the whole neighborhood looks like that. See, they're old. So, I guess apparently that's where she lived, I believe. What does that say there? Oh, you can't read it. Well, anyways, that's where the address is right there. So Sharon Ryan, daughter of William J. Ryan, 2214 Southeast 47th Avenue, failed to return to an older sister's home. Oh, I guess we got to put that in. At 2434 Northeast Flanders Street. All right. Welcome, BG. 2434 Northeast Flanders Street. So this is where the older sister lived. Alright, we take a look at that one. $24.34. Okay, yeah, that's the house. She failed to return to an older sister's home at 2434 Northeast Flanders Street, where she lives and was baking cookies. Okay, so I guess she actually lives at this home that we're looking at right here, where she lives and was baking cookies, her father said on Friday. The girl apparently had discovered that she needed more eggs. So she was making cookies at the time. She needed more eggs and left the oven on while she went to the store. The father said she apparently was going to the Thriftway Market at Northeast 28th. Alright, well, let's see where that is. Northeast 28th Avenue and East Burnside. So let's put that all in there. th Avenue and East Burnside. So it's close, right there. And let's just go down here. I don't know if it's a Thriftway anymore or Whole Foods or whatever they might call it. Let's see. No, maybe it's the Whole Foods, maybe. Yeah, East Burnside and Northeast 28. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That became a Whole Foods. I bet you anything that that's it right there. Yeah, because Whole Foods kind of took over all the spots over there. So it's really not that far of a walk. It would have been, let's see. Something like that. And it's not even, it's 0.37 miles. Alright, North 28th Avenue and East Burnside Street, 6 blocks from the sister's home, but never arrived there. So she never even made it there. Is it really 6 blocks? 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5, 6. Well, close to 6 blocks. The father said she apparently was going to the Thriftway Market at Northeast 28th Avenue and East Burnside Street, 6 blocks from the sister's home, but never arrived there. Miss Ryan is a senior at Jefferson High School, where she is enrolled in the special dancing courses during and after school hours, her father said. She was an A and B student and had no history of running away. She's 5 feet tall, brown hair, shoulder-length hair, her father said. Yeah, so now we've got a pretty big article on this. So let's see if they're saying the grocery store is right there on the corner. And that kind of looks exactly like how we had it. And yep, so it's right there. Yep, that's exactly what they have. Flanders. So I wonder if they have a, oh, well, her body was found. Girl 17 missing on errands was strangled. So by even the next day, they already had answers, right? The partially clothed body of Sharon Ryan, 17, missing since Thursday evening, was found Saturday afternoon by friends in a secluded area behind an apartment building, according to Portland police. Sergeant Tom Potter of the Portland Police Homicide Division said Miss Ryan had been strangled and possibly and the possibility of sexual abuse was still under investigation. The body was found in a heavily shrubbed, grassy area between two fences behind the parking lot of an apartment building at 318, let's do that one, 318 Northeast 28. Oh, that's interesting. So that's the apartment building. Looks like it was torn down. Yeah, let's see. So they're saying behind the parking lot of an apartment building. Timothy Boyle, 3415 Northeast Thurman Street, and Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Rhodes of Southwest Kalanick Street found Miss Ryan's body at 1:45 p.m. during a 2-day search conducted by friends and relatives of the family. Wow, so it's so weird. Like, she's found exactly, just middle of the day, right? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Let's see what it looked like. Let me turn off the 3D buildings here. It's 94, 1990. Let's see what happens if you go to Street View. Maybe it's older. Yeah, see, they're rebuilding it right here. God. I guess what we could do is go into the is this topic not as interesting as the other shows? Let's see. Maybe if I put Portland in there. Maybe they got an older one here. Okay, and they do have a historical. There we go. So it must have been behind that. Now, anyways, that's where her body was found, right behind there. A wooded area. Gotta get this everything in order here. Okay, so that's where the body was found. Man, how crazy is that? You're just walking to the store and then somebody kills you that quick. Although they're saying something different there. They're saying body found on Davis Street. which is more like right in this area. I don't know, that doesn't match the address that they gave. 318 Northeast 28th Avenue. Yeah, that's right there. I mean, Davis is right there. I'm just looking at their map, their little drawing here. They say body found, and they point right there. Hey, thanks, Lori H. I was wondering if it was broken. All right, the one body found right there, and the Northeast 28th Avenue is here, and then the grocery store is on Burnside, so they got that. I don't think that's right there. Alright, so she failed to return home. Let me go back up there. So Miss Ryan, a senior at Jefferson High School, disappeared at about 8 p.m. So it would have been dark outside. Hey, thank you, Jamie McLaughlin. How's everything going, by the way? Guess it does work. The damn button. Look at that. Thank you very much. Thanks for these lesser known case diet. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of articles on it, and it's interesting. I want to know what, I mean, all I read are the headlines basically, and that's about it, right? So I'd like working through it at the same time with you guys. There we go. Things weird. All right. Awesome.
Sorry, missed donating in December. Just busy. Thanks for these lesser known case dives, Gray.
Well, thank you very much. All right. She failed to return to an older sister's home at 2434 Northeast Flanders Street, where she lived and had been baking cookies. Her father, William J. Ryan of 2214 Southeast 47th Avenue, said she had left the oven on while she went to the store 6 blocks from the house. Miss Ryan was an A and B student. She took special dance classes during and after school, her father said. Friends said Miss Ryan was known by the nickname Shen. So probably maybe Shannon or Sharon Ryan combined, I don't know. Potter said the area is mixed residential commercial with a soft drink bottling plant, a theater, and number of restaurants. But we don't consider it a high crime area. Crime is somewhat heavier here than in other areas, but not to the extent that we concentrate personnel, said Potter. I think Potter became a government official later. His name sounds familiar. Potter said police received a call Saturday afternoon from an unidentified man who said his daughter had been approached by a man in a car, the same area, offering a ride earlier this week. So Potter said police received a call Saturday from an unidentified man who said his daughter had been approached by a man in a car in the same area. Yeah, but she wouldn't need a ride. The man had the license number, said Potter, but we were disconnected somehow, and he hasn't called back with the information. Oh boy. So that's a picture of her. That's about all they got. I mean, that's one of the better pictures, if you can imagine. There's almost no pictures of her online as well. So that's not what it looks like, what it looked like back then. Alright, so here's a picture. That's her, I believe, dancing. It says, when Sharon Ryan practiced her part in the Jefferson High School production of The Magic of Broadway in August 1975, she had hopes of someday becoming a professional dancer. Instead, she was murdered Thursday near her Northeast Portland home. So that's her dancing. Hey, thank you, Lily. What is that? What denomination is that? But thank you. I don't know what MX is. Is that Mexico or let me see. MX country code. Maybe Mexico? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for covering this, Gray.
You got to get the UFO. Anyways, thank you very much. That's don't know what that is either. I'll figure it out. Alright, so here it is. That's her dancing, and then there's another picture of her. Kind of looks like maybe one of these two people here. Janet Stroop bottom and Cindy Sprague standing left. So this one, that's her right there. Sharon Ryan wanted to dance professionally, and everybody thought she had a good chance of making it. She planned to enroll next September at New York University, where a friend from Jefferson High School studied dance. From there, she would try her luck on the professional stage. But Thursday night, as Sharon walked the few blocks home from the store, now they're saying home, that she made it to the store, at Northeast 28th Avenue and East Burnside Street, where she bought eggs for her cookies, somebody destroyed her dreams. She didn't return home that night, and Saturday, her strangled, half-clad body was discovered in a lot behind an apartment at 318 Northeast 28th Avenue. Somebody murdered Sharon, and her family, friends, and teachers can't understand why. She was a nice girl, a quiet girl, her sister, Patty Wool said. Since September 1975, Sharon had lived with their sister and brother-in-law, John Wall, in their home at 2434 Northeast Flanders. So her older sister was obviously married. Patty's last name at one time must have been, the same as Ryan. So it would have been Patty Ryan. She married John Wall, probably pretty young. And they live in a house together at 2434 Northeast Flanders, and Sharon was living there with them. Sharon's parents were divorced. Her father, William Ryan, lives in Southeast Portland, while her mother, Marty, Esselstyn, that's a hard one, lives in Hollywood, California. Sharon began dancing in Portland Parks Bureau program when she was 8 years old. She showed immediate promise, and her mother, a former dancer, enrolled her in private classes. By the time Sharon reached high school age, it was apparent that dancing was her love. She chose to go to Jefferson because of its outstanding dance department. She commuted daily from her father's home in the Cleveland High School district until her sophomore year, when she moved to her sister's home. At Jefferson, Sharon quickly earned a reputation as one of the school's top dance performers. She established a reputation among her peers because of her talent, said teacher Ruthann Hartley. Everyone knew she had a lot of talent. Sharon appeared in several school musical productions, including The Magic of Broadway, which was presented in Portland Civic Theater and Salem and Seattle theaters. She also danced in The Poor Little Rich Girl, which was broadcast last Christmas on KOAP-TV, Portland's educational television station. She was in love with dance, and she was in love with life, said drama teacher Wanda Nichols. Whenever she danced, she seemed to light up the stage. Mrs. Nichols said Sharon asked her advice last week about taking a drama class. The student thought she needed more dramatic training before embarking on a stage career. We talked about how she could rearrange her schedule so she could take my class, Mrs. Nichols said, and then, let's see. She had a little voice, and she had to learn how to project it.
Gray, thank you for all you do. Purple heart, sparkling heart, butterfly.
Wow, all of a sudden I heard something. Oh, Wow, that was weird. Your note started talking before anything showed up on the screen, but thank you. Is it Judy? Or is it Grady Juddy? Anyways, thank you very much. Dancing was also Sharon's way of meeting people and making friends. A quiet, shy girl, her timidness sometimes bothered her. She had a lot of friends, but she didn't know it, said close friend Marcia Florence, 16, also a dance student at Jefferson. So, hold on, I've forgotten one element here. So she's 17, okay. So Sharon's 17 years old. She knew a lot of people, but she didn't think they were her friends. She was always getting mad at herself because she thought she wasn't making any friends. So she had a bunch of friends, she just didn't know it, but she thought she wasn't making any friends, so she'd be mad at herself. Sharon was to graduate from Jefferson this spring, even though she was only a junior. An A and B student, she had completed her high school requirements in 3 years. 2 detectives have been assigned to the murder case full-time, and other police officers have been working on it. There are no suspects. I don't think it continues. Yeah, that was it. Clues sought in slaying of teenager. Portland police are investigating several persons they believe were capable of killing Sharon Ryan, the 17-year-old high school senior who was murdered last Thursday night after she had gone to buy some eggs. Detective Sergeant Robert Tobin said Tuesday that detectives have listed persons we believe are capable of something like this. They have the potential, and we will look at each one. As yet, he said, no evidence links any person to the crime. The girl's body was found by family members Saturday in a parking lot at 318 Northeast 28th Avenue. She died of asphyxiation and had been stabbed in the face once. Oh, man. Jeez. And the neck several times. Oh, man. So she was strangled, and this person wanted to make sure she wasn't going to live and stabbed her in the neck and face. Wow. That was according to the Multnomah County Medical Examiner, Larry Lumen. The weapon has not been recovered. Police said they are discounting a report from a store customer that he saw 2 men harassing the girl while she was in the store at 2815 East Burnside. Let's just make sure now that we have. Yeah, so we got the right building. Now, the customer account included a conversation with the store clerk who had not been working Thursday night, police said. Tobin said police have identified the car that has reportedly been involved in approaching young women in southeast Portland. The telephone caller had told police Friday about the incident, but was accidentally disconnected. He later called back, after news accounts of the murder. Tobin said the incidents occurred some distance from the murder scene, but detectives will interview the car's owner. Police have interviewed nearly all residents of the area, but have come up with few details. The only substantial information has been 2 separate reports of screams heard by apartment building tenants near the murder scene about the time of the killing. Police said Miss Ryan probably died within an hour after she left the store. So it was dark outside. I mean, this is in December. It probably gets dark around, 4:30 or 5 o'clock. So it was 8. It would have been dark. The store clerk who waited on Miss Ryan, so she did make it to the store, calls her only slightly, police said. She purchased a dozen eggs and a 99-cent grocery item police have yet to identify. So she actually made it to the store, and something happened on the way back. So it sounds like that route that I was looking at is probably the one that she took. You know, from here, probably walk straight down like this, then straight down that way, and then went to the grocery store. I don't know where the entrance was of the store back then. Hey, welcome, Colin Pendleton. Alright, so it looks like she probably made it. Man, look how close she made it back home. Man, that's just brutal. So she walks this whole way, gets her eggs, goes all the way back up to here-ish, and this is where they find her body. She only had 3 blocks to go to get back home. That's it. And who on an iPhone? Does it sound bad, the audio? What are you talking about? Does my audio sound poor? You talking to me, Linda, or somebody else? Yeah, she was more popular than... she just didn't believe that people liked her. Maybe Linda's on rewind or something. Okay. So they just didn't know what the 99-cent item was. And it wouldn't have been a candy bar, because back then a candy bar was like 25 or 50 cents. I know, because I used to buy them. Strangler tip offered. An anonymous caller has given police the name of a person the caller claimed was responsible for the December 16th strangulation murder of Sharon Ryan. He said something like, "You're looking for a strangler. His name is ... And he gave a name. We've checked, and there are 5 persons in the area with the name he gave us. The call has been one of approximately 35 the homicide detail has received since the 17-year-old girl's body was found in northeast Portland Saturday. Tobin said the caller sounded absolute in a commanding voice. He said the caller said the person named is known to one local police agency, but hung up before police could ask any questions. Despite the call, police late Wednesday were without a major suspect or a suspect vehicle, it was reported. We have received a number of calls like that one, said Detective Sergeant Tom Potter. We have a list of 20 or 30 cars and people to check out. We have already talked to several people and cleared them. Potter said police are still counting on help from the public. Maybe somebody out there with good information is just waiting, hoping someone else will call in instead. Police are without a witness to any part of the crime. The murder has not been linked to any other in the city. And this is now we're on the 24th now. And so that means just about 8 days after she went missing and was murdered. Portland police had little new information to report Thursday night in the Sharon Ryan murder investigation. The 17-year-old Jefferson High School senior was strangled December 16th, apparently in the 300 block of Northeast 28th Avenue, while walking home from a grocery store in her neighborhood. She went to the grocery store to get more eggs because she was baking cookies. I mean, can you think of a worse, the most non-nefarious thing that you could ever imagine doing? Oh, I just need some more eggs to cook some more, bake some more cookies for people. And some whack job out there murders you. And all that promise, the dancer, the, smart, really trying to push herself to be more outgoing, and Jesus, ridiculous. Determination has been made as to whether the victim was sexually abused, but that information will not be made public, according to Detective Sergeant Tom Potter. Police Thursday continued to interview a number of possible suspects in the case, but still were without a prime suspect, Potter said. One lead police had was that a man or men in a blue car had been seen in the neighborhood attempting to entice females into the car close to the day of the murder. The car had not been identified as of late Wednesday, Potter said. Neither had police identified or found one of two grocery items Miss Ryan was carrying when attacked, he said. Police have received about 40 calls from the public offering possible information about the crime, but nothing significant was learned Thursday, it was reported. Yeah, hold on. Oh, there it is. Hey, you know that Billy Giuliani, I keep saying Giuliani. Billy Giuliana that's in here. It was funny because she has a YouTube channel about, I think probably some personal struggles and whatnot, but it was actually pretty good. She's funny. I was like, oh, look at that. That's crazy. She was laughing and jokes and so forth, so you guys should check it out. I don't know if she's even here tonight. She was here last night, though. If she's listening, she's probably like, what? He said my name? Alright, I'm going to move on to the next one. So now we're about 6 more days later on the 30th. Oh, there she is right there. Yeah, used to be the mayor, right? Billy? Yeah, well, didn't Tom Potter used to be the mayor? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That he was a mayor, but I didn't want to just throw it out there. I'm not sure what year either. I think it was like in the... I don't think it was that long ago, now that I think about it. There's Billy Giuliana. Yeah, anyways. Portland police believe that Roberta Stevens knew the person or persons who fatally stabbed her Tuesday night and say their investigation now centers on a small number of suspects. We've narrowed the scope of our investigation down to a few people, Detective Sergeant Tom Potter said Wednesday night. Potter did not disclose why police believe the 22-year-old victim... what do you mean 22-year-old victim? I thought she was 17. Who are they talking about? Stevens knew the person. Maybe this is a different... Maybe they're just comparing this to her case. Maybe it pops up in here. There it is right there. So that's another case. I'm going to go look that one up. That's right, I was going to look that one up. But right down here it said, police said no connection has been established between Stevens' murder and that of 17-year-old Sharon Ryan. So I was going to look that one up. What was her name? 22-year-old Miss Stevens of Roberta Stevens. All right, let's see what happens. Murder of Roberta Stevens. Yeah, I don't see it in there. I'll have to do like a search on newspapers on this other website for that. I don't see it. Okay. So, anyways, that article is just about another murder, but they couldn't find a connection. Maybe I'll take a look at that one. Hopefully it's been solved, though. Then on the 31st of December, police arrest suspect 24 in Sharon Ryan's murder. Portland police detectives arrested Robert Ernest Wood, 24 of, I will put him in there, 2514 Southeast Ankeny Street, which is damn close, right there. And this guy's name is Robert Wood. Wow, it's right there. I mean, 1.5 blocks from the Thriftway at the time. Well, you do a good job on there, Billy. Just to let you know. You know, you're you're funny. I don't know. You just a good stage presence, as it were. All right. Wood is employed as a janitor. See, this is a. I might actually go to these places here. You know, this is now that I've got them all mapped out. And let me get that address on there too. So that was 2514 Ankeny. Okay. Wood is employed as a janitor at Sam's Hollywood Billiards at 1845 Northeast 41st Avenue. So not too far away, right there. I wonder if that's still there. I remember that was kind of felt like it was still around there not too long ago. Yeah, look at that. Sam's Billiard still there. Crazy. Where he was taken into custody by Detective Dennis Fromm, and so he was arrested at the billiards place. Lieutenant Cedric Akeley said the murder suspect had been under close scrutiny for 48 hours before his arrest. Or Akel, what do you think that is? A-I-C-H-E-L-E. He declined to say what specific evidence had led officers to Wood, but he appealed for an unidentified man to call officers and identify himself as having given contributory information leading to the arrest. Akel said the caller remained anonymous when he first telephoned the Portland Police Bureau 2 days after the slaying. Detectives need to talk to the man. Asked if the suspect might have known the victim, the detective said, "I don't know." Now just go to her, you just type her name in on YouTube, she's right there. Asked if the suspect might have known the victim. "I don't know," he said. Yeah, you type her name in. There aren't two of her name on YouTube, right? And she's not. You have to be a moderator to be able to post. All right. Anyways, detectives need to talk to the man. Asked if the suspect might have known the victim. Akel said, "I don't know." He also reiterated that there was no connection between Miss Ryan's murder and the fatal stabbing Tuesday of Roberta Stevens in Northwest Portland. "We are looking for a couple of people whom we think might lead us to who did it." Akel said Miss Ryan probably had been raped when she was slain, but he did not elaborate on evidence leading to that statement. Akel said detectives from and Hope headed as many as, let's see, it's kind of hard to read that. From and Hope headed as many as 6 detectives who worked on the case since Miss Ryan's body was discovered. He said virtually dozens of persons were investigated, along with the suspect. Arraignment of Wood on the murder charge is scheduled for 2 p.m. Monday, January 3rd in Multnomah County District Court. Miss Ryan was popular among her classmates and was considered to have been a talented dancer. Her funeral was attended by more than 300 family members and friends. Her parents are divorced. Her father, William Ryan, lives in southeast Portland, while her mother, Marty Esselstyn, lives in Hollywood, California. Miss Ryan began dancing in programs sponsored by the Portland Parks Bureau when she was 8 years old. She was enrolled in formal classes when her talent became apparent. She attended Jefferson High School in part because of its dance program. She appeared in several school musical productions, including The Magic of Broadway, which was presented at Portland Civic Theater. A quiet, shy girl, Miss Ryan, whose dancing... let's see. Quiet, shy girl, Miss Ryan chose dancing as a way of making friends and meeting people, her schoolmates said. She had a lot of friends, but she didn't know it. Police said the area in which she was murdered was not considered such a high-crime neighborhood that extra police patrols were concentrated there. I gotta go find that. I just noticed that there was a second page. But see, here's the thing. This is what happened. Like, all of my desktop links that I knew where they were are now just all over the place. I mean, I can't even show you what it looks like. It's just a glob, and I don't know how to find. And I don't know how to. Oh, there. Maybe that's it. Let's try that one. That might work. Oh, thank God. What a miracle. Sharon Ryan, 1976. Actually, what day was that? Yeah, December 31st. So it's Oregon. That's probably good. Okay, so she's in there, and this is December 31st. Is that the one? No, we need the one that says police arrest. I'm just trying to find the second page of that. Sounds like there might have been details on it. Unfortunately, I missed that it said. Well, I guess this is another one. The 30th. Portland police believe that Roberta Stevens knew the person or persons who fatally stabbed her. We've narrowed the scope to our investigation down to a few people. Miss Stevens of 1963 West Burnside collapsed and died of a stab wound to the neck about 5:30 p.m. Tuesday, moments after she entered. So is this the same? This is about Stevens again. Alright, so that's the same one that we were looking at. Where's the one I'm looking for is December 31st. Is it this one? There's a bunch of them. There we go. Alright, so B1. So maybe, hopefully the next page. Alright, let's see. That's A2. They should give you like a hyperlink that goes to that page. That's A4. Let me try 10. Are we in the B's yet? Yeah, man, what happened? There we go. Nope, still about 17. Sorry guys, I just want to see what's on that second page. I didn't catch that.
Gray, you said guys. A lot of these people are women. God.
Well, I know. I'm just saying guys in general, Mary Lou. My God.
Oh, okay. You mean like just, hey guys, let's go, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. God. Actually makes me angry. Now that's weird. I gotta admit to that. That is weird. That Mary Lou makes me angry. So is this the... Country Ass Vehicles Panther X to get 2 more patrol. So this is B1. Suspect cooperated with police probe. Arrested Thursday. Okay, that's another article on it. So on this one, it's additional details on page B1. Well, this is B1, but it doesn't say... Oh, there it is. Story on page 1 also. Okay. So maybe this is just another story on it. So, suspect cooperated with police probe, says acquaintance. Robert Ernest Wood, arrested Thursday as a suspect for the murder of 17-year-old Sharon Ryan, was described by his employer as a quiet, mild-mannered man who apparently had cooperated fully with police in the slaying investigation. Shirley Chapman, who, with her husband, operates Sam Hollywood's Billiard at 1845 Northeast 41st Avenue, said Wood had worked for the couple for the past 2 months. Mrs. Chapman said they first met Wood when he would come to the establishment after his shift at a service station where he worked. She said Wood usually limited himself to 1 or 2 beers. Mrs. Chapman said Wood told her husband that someone called police claiming Wood was responsible for Miss Ryan's murder, and that someone also had called the suspect's mother, threatening to turn in Wood. Wood was cooperating with police investigating the murder and had given them his apartment key, Mrs. Chapman said. Officers, she said, had taken clothing and shoes belonging to Wood for laboratory analysis. Wood was expecting detectives to meet him at the parlor Thursday noon, apparently thinking they would return the shoes and clothing, but instead they arrested him, she said. Mrs. Chapman said Wood was hired when another person quit at the parlor, leaving Wood's job at a service station at Northeast 33rd Avenue and Broadway. Dave Goulet, manager of the station, said Wood quit because he did not like the graveyard shift he was working, starting at midnight. Goulet said Wood was employed there about a year, pumping gasoline. Wood's brother, the Reverend Ben R. Wood, said Thursday the suspect was born in Idaho and spent his youth in Baker, Oregon. Or is that California? Baker? I can't even remember now. Man, it's just... I don't even follow Oregon very much anymore, just because it's just, so ashamed of Portland. He served in the Marine Corps because coming to Portland more than a year ago, the Reverend Mr. Wood said the suspect's father is dead and Wood lives with his mother in the apartment at 2514 Southeast Ankeny Street, the Clarkston, he said. I guess it's called, the apartments were called the Clarkston. Yeah. Yeah, I thought there was there was a place called that in Oregon. I just realized, though, after I said it, am I absolutely sure? But I don't think there's anything more on that page. All right, now we're going to January 4th, 1977. Janitor arraigned. Robert Ernest Wood, a 24-year-old janitor, was arraigned Monday on a charge of murdering 17-year-old Sharon Ryan on December 16th by strangling her after she left home to buy some eggs. Wood, who was being held without bail, told Multnomah County District Judge Robert Redding he didn't have enough funds to hire his own attorney. He said he lived with his mother and his janitorial pay averaged about $111 a week. He said he had received a check for $77 for 4 days of work last week before he was arrested. Redding appointed Wendell Berklin, a former deputy district attorney, to represent Wood. Berklin entered a plea of not guilty for his client, and Redding set a preliminary hearing date of January 10th to determine if it is enough evidence to hold the defendant. Yeah, so he's definitely, they're on him for sure. There, just a second. I'll put, I guess I can go look up Billy's page right here. So here's Billy's YouTube channel right there, if you want to check it out. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad pay. It's not great, but I mean, you know, the $77, but that's not what he said. He actually said it was a bigger number than that a second ago. Just a second. It was pay averaged about $111 a week. He said he had received a check for $77. So that means it's probably, then that means it's $1,110, and that was just for 4 days of work. So I mean, that'd be equivalent to maybe making $50,000 a year or something. Suspect denies Ryan murder. So Robert Ernest Wood, 24, pleaded not guilty Monday in Multnomah County Circuit Court to an indictment charging him with the rape and strangulation murder of Jefferson High School senior Sharon Ryan. The trial was set for February 11th, and defense... I mean, look how quickly they get you to trial back then. Trial was set for February 11th, and defense attorney Wendell Berklin said later he had no plans to negotiate a guilty plea to lesser charges, but would seek acquittal of his client in court. Thank you, Kathy Frydenmaker. Berklin Woods' court-appointed lawyer asked Judge Charles Crookham for $500 in investigatory fees he said were necessary for adequate defense of Wood. Crookham allowed an initial $350 and indicated Berklin could ask for more money if it were needed. So Wood's attorney asked for $500, which apparently, if you go with the same math that James is using there, is about $5,000 for investigation for his client, and was given the $350, which would be maybe like $3,500. All right, and then Wood of 2514 Southeast Ankeny Street was arrested December 30th at Sam's Hollywood Billiards at 1845 Northeast 41st Avenue, where he worked as a janitor. He has been held without bail. Berklin told Crookham he had received some 95 pages of police reports on the case, but said it appeared there were some gaps in them. He said the information he has indicates there was a number of telephone calls, some of them anonymous, made to police regarding Wood, and he asked that the names of the known callers and what they said be made available to him. So there's a lot of these anonymous callers calling in with his name. Thank you, Eugenie. Crookham directed the district attorney's office to continue to furnish all information it has regarding police investigation of the case to the defense. That would be, you get anonymous callers tipping somebody in, and, you kind of want to get their name. Asked later if he would see a psychiatric report, if he could. Let's see. Asked later if he would see. What do you mean would? Could see, you mean? A psychiatric report on his client. Birkeland said he saw no reason for any at this time. Wood is accused of raping and strangling the 17-year-old ballet dancer on December 16th. Her body was discovered in a vacant lot 2 days later. Miss Ryan, who lived at 3434 Northeast Flanders Street, disappeared while walking home from a market at Northeast 20th Avenue and Burnside, where she had purchased some eggs and something that cost 99 cents. Alright, so that was January 11th, and then there was almost no articles until now we're in February, and the trial actually, started taking place in February. Jury selection begins. I kind of want to go through this because it looks like they pretty much covered the trial every single day here, so it might be interesting to see how this went down. Jury selection will begin Friday in the trial of Robert Ernest Wood, 24, charged with the December 16th, 1976 rape murder of 17-year-old Sharon Ryan. The trial opened Thursday before Multnomah County Circuit Judge John J. Murchison, with both the prosecution and the defense seeking the judge rulings on evidence pertaining to the case. Wood, a janitor at Sam's Hollywood Billiards, 1845 Northeast 41st Avenue, was arrested there December 30th. Police said he had been under close scrutiny for 48 hours before the arrest as a result of an anonymous telephone call about the murder. Miss Ryan, who lived at 2434 Northeast Flanders, disappeared while walking home from the market. Her body was discovered concealed in a shrub-grown vacant lot 2 days later. Wood is being defended by a court-appointed lawyer, Wendell Birkeland, a former deputy district attorney. Prosecutor is Deputy District Attorney Tom Howes. A Washington County Circuit Court jury earlier Thursday awarded... No, that's a different story, I think. Does that go up here? That's just another story. Okay. I guess it's probably the continuation of this one up. Let's see. Now we're going to go the next day. Wood trial jury sifting continued. So they're doing the voir dire at this point, right? Jury selection continued Friday in the trial of Robert Wood, 24, accused of the December 16th rape and strangulation. Of the prospective jurors called into Multnomah County Circuit Judge John Murchison's court, a man and 4 women were excused because of admitted prejudice about the case or because of familiarity with the case through exposure to the media. Miss Ryan, who lived at 2434 Northeast Flanders, disappeared. Yeah, we got that. I think the rest of that we've seen. All right, now we're on March 1st. Defense lawyer in the trial of Robert Ernest Wood protested Monday the appearance in court of a Jefferson High School classmate of Sharon Ryan, whose raped and strangled body was found in a parking lot December 18th, 2 days after her disappearance. Called by Tom Howes, prosecutor, to testify with the 8-women, 4-man jury out of the courtroom, Sylvia Patapoff, 16, told how she had jogged 7 blocks to a market using a route that may have been taken by the slain Sharon Ryan. The time Miss Ryan was gone from her home until the married sister with whom she lived, Mrs. John Wall, notified police of her disappearance is a key element in the case. Parading a girl the same size and age before the jury, who was a friend of the victim, as well as a young dancer besides, is only intended to prejudice the jury against Bob Wood. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of tactics like that, you know. Makes people think, wow, so that guy over there killed somebody that looked like this? Wood, 24, a former Marine and pool hall janitor, pool hall ace, right, you guys? is charged with the December 16th rape and murder of Miss Ryan, 17. Police partially on the basis of an anonymous tip arrested Wood December 30th. He had pleaded not guilty and has been held without bail. Despite Birkeland's objections, Multnomah County Circuit Judge, it makes you wonder who the caller was. You know? Who the hell was the caller on this? Despite Birkeland's objections, Multnomah County Circuit Judge John Murchison ruled that Miss Ryan's friend could testify. It has been indicated that timing will have considerable importance in this case. Miss Patapoff, subsequently testifying in the presence of the jury, said she was 5 feet 1 and weighed 110 pounds. It has been established earlier that Miss Ryan was the same height and weight. Miss Patapoff said that she and Miss Ryan were not only classmates in dance, but were on the track team and were joggers. Our speed was about the same, Miss Patapoff. Well, she wouldn't be jogging to go pick up some eggs, I wouldn't think. No problem. At the suggestion of the district attorney's office, Miss Patapoff jogged February 11th. Jogged February 11th from the slain girl's home at 2434 Northeast Flanders Street to Arts Thriftway Market at 2825 Northeast Burnside Street. Miss Patapoff said she jogged the 7 blocks, I would say, I'm just going to guess, be less than 8 minutes. Twice, and her time in both distances was 6 minutes and 35 seconds. That's not really that fast. It's 0.3 miles. The defendant had told police that he was absent from his mother's apartment at 2511 Southeast Ankeny for less than an hour, starting at 7:30. So that would give him, like, she leaves the home at 8, and so that would definitely, he's out and about during the time. Miss Wall said her sister left their home at about 8 p.m. During her testimony, Miss Wall wept as she identified a fur-trimmed khaki coat belonging to her sister. The defense acknowledged other exhibits were clothing that belonged to Miss Ryan. The victim's sister did not have to identify other clothing, which included a pair of blue jeans the prosecution said were used to strangle Miss Ryan. After the jury had been selected Monday, so she was strangled by her own blue jeans. Man, how come nobody heard anything? Right in the middle. There wasn't as many people back in the 70s, but that's crazy. I don't think she went jogging. After the jury had been selected Monday morning, it was taken by bus to visit they don't have any witnesses of her, any at all, during her trip other than when she made it to the store. So the prosecution wants there to be jogging so that it fits into his time frame better. Because he only has a half hour to work with, so they need it to be quicker that she was jogging. The defense acknowledged other exhibits were clothing that belonged to Miss Ryan. The victim's sister did not have to identify their clothing. After the jury had been selected Monday morning, it was taken by bus to visit the slain girl's home, the market in question, and the parking lot behind 318 Northeast Everett Street, where the body was found Prosecutor Howe said the state would prove Miss Ryan had been raped and strangled by Robert Ernest Wood. Well, I wonder if they have any DNA. You know, maybe they can... Howe said Miss Ryan had left her home to buy eggs for the cookies she was making. She left the oven on, he said, and that tells you something, that she didn't plan on being gone long, right? So you just... It's only 0.3 miles. I mean, so... you can walk there and back in less than 15 minutes. You don't have to be jogging. You know, you just walk briskly. You run in, grab the eggs, oven's heating up. You know, by the time you get back, it's at the 425 or whatever. And apparently on her way home, Howe said Miss Ryan was at Northeast 28th Avenue and Everett Street. Let's see where that is. Is that what we already got? Okay, so that's where she's found. Let me go back again. Let me see what the clearest image. That's pretty good. And so that's the park. That's probably what it was before. This is 2003. There's a parking lot. Yeah, makes you wonder what it looked like. 1990. Wow, that's 1952 right there, if you can believe that. 1970. Looks the same. That's the earliest one that was clear is 1990. I wonder if it was like right back in here. I think it's back here. This one's only 14 years later. So that's interesting. Maybe the spot's still there. Yeah, right back there. Hey, Pebs. What's up? What's going on? Chewbacca?
Chewbacca? Oh, I'll do Chewbacca if you want me to.
Sorry to interrupt. Where's up / hey freaks?
Who cares if it's 400 for a chicken for 1 hour, James? What does that have to do with the damn thing we're talking about? She's making cookies. Hey everybody, it's 3:25 to cook a ham and a roast. Oh wait, no, it's not, Gray. It's 4:20. Yeah. Let's see. That's ridiculous. Gives a shit how long it takes to cook a chicken. We're talking about cookies, okay? Yikes. Alright, we already did that. After the jury had been selected, yeah. She left the oven on, he said, and that tells you something. There was someone else there at the time, House said. Wait. Apparently, on the way home, House said, Miss Ryan was at Northeast 28th Avenue and Everett Street. There was someone else there at that time, House said. She was seen in the company of that man. Oh, interesting. So she obviously wasn't jogging. Here, Howe pointed to the defendant, and he can be positively identified. Wow. Howe said the witness, Stan Tover, seems like one of those names that people make up just to make up right there. Well, I don't know if he's a sub, Dan. How do I know if he's a sub or not?
Gray, you're so mean. Hey.
Dan Carr said I was so mean, so guess what? Yeah, I was thinking it sounded like bend over, right? Yeah. Like one of those names where you make fun of people with. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm in jail now. Stand up. IP freely. See more butts. Willie make it. Yep, you guys, I'm stuck in prison, unfortunately. Anything to help my family loves Gray. Hey, very cool. I don't know if that's Mary Lou there. That's just somebody a drawing of me. Hey, thanks, Mag. Doesn't say bail though, so I think I'm still stuck in here. Yeah, I don't even know what that means. Yeah. The only problem is, James, is that the last name you're using doesn't exist as a last name for anybody. So it's just like saying something that you would just say and then pretending that's a last name. Thank you, Georgina Stoliker. Yeah, Mag's always so nice. Stay there and count your chickens. Don't count your chickens before they're hatched. Trying to work that in somehow. Oh, there we go. We got some bail. So, Mags was just a very loving stay in jail. Like just, hey, everything's going to be fine, Gray, you know. Then Georgina, I think hers wasn't labeled either. So then we've got the stay in jail sign. So we're at -5. Then your Gypsy made it +5. And then Mary Glaviano made it +10. Okay, good. We're out now. Thank you. Bam. How said Tover, who... I'm having a hard time saying his name now. Stan Tover. Hey, thanks, Pebs. How said the witness, Stan Tover had known Wood for several years and would testify that he saw Wood pulling on the arm of a young white girl with long dark hair. Howe said Tover, who had been drinking at several taverns and was on his way home, did not intervene. Shit, why don't they look at that guy?
Chewbacca? I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
Get out of jail free card. Bail.
So thank you to Georgina Stoliker, Billy Juliana, Your Gypsy, Mary Glaviano, and Pebs W for the stint in the brink. Yeah, that would work. Bent over. That would work there, Dan. Thank you, Courtney Robb. And Wayne Kerr, huh? Not Wanker. You guys are hilarious. What? By Wanker. That's good. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna have a list of those now. Oh, by the way, I tried to make a new emoji for you guys. It's the it's this one here, but it's I think it's hard to do. But there's milk in front of somebody's face. Okay, it says cold milk in tiny little letters on there. I don't know, Mag. I have no idea. That I might just make it a milk jug that says cold milk. You guys can do with it whatever you want to. All right. What happens if I click on it? Is it bigger? No. Got a really great look there, beholder. Yeah. There we go. And then I also took the masks off of the Wacko from Ancient Aliens and Blue and Chloe. Alright, where are we at here? Howes said Tover, who had been... So who's Howes again? Someone else at that time. Howes said... Howes... so that's the prosecutor. Okay. So Howes said the witness, Stan Tover, had known Wood for several years and would testify that he saw... This must be the opening argument. That he saw Wood pulling on the arm of a young girl with long dark hair. The prosecutor said that Tover, who had been drinking at several taverns, I mean, now you're admitting that your witness was wasted and was on his way home, did not intervene. Then, the prosecutor said, Tover read of the girl's disappearance and then the discovery of the body, and he felt guilty because he hadn't done anything. And then he called police and told them to ask Robert Wood about it. He hung up when they tried to get his name and address. In his opening statement, Birkeland told the jury, "We will show you the type of man Bob Wood is. His character..." I want to look something up really quick. Hold on a second. I have to go to Ben Verify and look up this Bend Over character. It's an unusual name, so they're probably going to be 80 something. That's him. There's only one. I mean, that last name, nobody has that one. He died in 1980, interestingly, which really is only very few years after this. Huh. What happened with that guy? That's kind of weird, isn't it? That Stan Tover, he dies in 1980. Just like 4 years after that. It's kind of strange. Then House said Tover read of the girl's disappearance and then the discovery of the body, and he felt guilty. Then he hung up the phone, and he called in, then he hung up the phone. In his opening statement, Birkeland told the jury, that must be the defense, "We will show you the type of man Bob Wood is, his character, the type of worker he is, and show you he is not the type of man who would do this. Bob Wood," Birkeland said, "was indicted too soon and with too little evidence. The trial resumes Tuesday morning." Hey, thank you, Susanna McGillapadrig. Wow, she's trying to put me back in jail again? Well, thank you, Susanna, but I broke out of jail in a time warp. Well, I sure hope you do, Ria Mazaron.
Chewbacca? I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
Stay in jail under protective custody.
Okay, now we're going to March 2nd. The witness testified Tuesday in the Sharon Ryan murder trial that saw the defendant, Robert Wood, engaged in a dispute with a young woman matching the victim's description. So this is the Tover individual. He saw the defendant, Robert Wood, engaged in a dispute with a young woman matching the victim's description on the night of the murder. Then Stanley R. Tover, the state's principal witness in Wood's trial for murder, testified that a month later, "I saw a man who looked just like him," referring to Wood shopping in a market. "I thought to myself, that's Bob Wood. What's Bob Wood doing out of jail?" But it wasn't Bob Wood. It was a younger man in his late teens, and he wore dark rimmed glasses, not like the glasses Bob Wood wears. He added, however, that he now is sure the second man just looked like Bob Wood, and that the 24-year-old Wood was the man. I mean, why the hell is this even being brought up, though, by anybody? Was the man he saw the night of the murder. Wow, so, why are you saying, yes, I did see this other guy who looked exactly like him, but, now that I think about it, I'm really certain that this guy looks... How did that even come across somebody's mind? Hey, sir, have you ever seen anybody that looked just like Robert Wood? Well, come to think of it, I was at a store the other day, and I saw this guy that looked exactly like him. I don't know, man. He added, however, that he now is sure the second man just looked like Bob Wood, and that the 24-year-old Wood was the man he saw the night of the murder. Tover of 7212 Southeast Ash Street also testified in Multnomah County Circuit Court that he had lied at least 5 times to police prior to telling them he saw Wood the December 16th when 17-year-old Miss Ryan failed to return to her Northeast Portland home after an evening walk to a nearby grocery store to pick up some eggs to finish baking some cookies while the oven was heating up. Doesn't say that, but I'm just filling it in. Called by Deputy District Attorney Tom House, Tover told the 8-woman, 4-man jury he had seen Wood December 16th pulling the arm of a young white woman with long dark hair near where the raped and strangled Miss Ryan was found. Tover told the jury, I was the one who first called the police. Police had received an anonymous telephone call the morning after Miss Ryan's partially clothed body was found in a parking lot adjacent to 315 Northeast Everett Street. The caller suggested police ask Bob Wood about the girl's disappearance. Tover, a Reed College janitor, testified. How old is this guy, by the way? Doesn't say anywhere. Tover, a Reed College janitor, so they were both janitors, huh? Testified he had 5 tap beers, which, like, when somebody who drinks a lot says they had 5 beers, how many do you think they really had? When somebody says, a drinker, they go, yeah, I had 5. And in their mind, that seems like they just barely had any, right? But 5 beers to people that don't drink very much would absolutely, make you really buzzed or, like slightly drunk. He says he had 5. Oh, give me a break, man. And they even have like quotes around it. And he likes 5 a lot too, because he said lied at least 5 times. And then he says he had 5 beers. So yeah, Tover, a Reed College janitor, testified he had 5 tap beers at the Ship's Keg Tavern. Let's get that one in there. So this is so cool because they're actually giving us details every day in this trial. Northeast Gleason Street. That's not even far away, right there. Look at that. And this would have been called the Ship's Keg Tavern. There we go. And what time was that? At 6 p.m. So that was at 6 p.m. This is the witness guy here. And this is, what's his name again? Stan Tover. Okay. Alright, let's see what it looks like down there now. Is it still called that? I wouldn't be shocked. It is a pub still. Oh, here's a way to do it. Turn on places. And it's called Laurelhurst Public House. So still a pub, but it's not what it was called back then. So it's interesting because that's close to the area right here. Okay, so let's do that part again. Tover, a Reed College janitor, testified he had 5 tap beers at the Ship's Keg Tavern at about 6 p.m. December 16th, and then had walked to Northeast 28th, which is, I think that's 28th right here. Yeah, that's 28th. So he walked from right here to like this. Alright. Avenue and Gleason. Alright, so that's 28th. Yeah, 20th and Gleason, that's how we got it. To telephone his mother in Ashland. She was supposed to go to the hospital for an operation, Tover said. That's why I remember these dates. After the telephone call, Tover said he went to another tavern, the Lucky Inn, at Northeast 28th and Gleason. So I guess there was a tavern right here called the Lucky Inn, apparently. It's right in this area, so I don't know which, maybe it's right here. This would have been called the Lucky Inn. Alright, so there you go. He goes from here, then he has a couple more beers. So now you're up to like 7, right? And he's on his way home, but in no hurry. So he had a couple beers. Tover said he was on his way home. And do we have we do have his address. Let me get his address. So Tover lives at 2712 Southeast Ash Street. Okay, that makes sense. So now he's heading right over here. See, this is kind of weird, this whole thing now. He actually puts himself in the area at that time. And maybe he was nervous that somebody thought, they might have looked into this guy. How did he die in 1980, by the way? Was it suicide? It makes you wonder a little bit. God, look at that. This guy goes from here to here and then goes home exactly on that route. Man. And he just picks some other sucker that he knows that lives over here maybe. Anyways, let's just go through this. Tover said he walked up Northeast 28th Avenue, and so Tover, he was on his way home, but was in no hurry, he said. He was not drunk. Tover said he walked up Northeast 28th Avenue and at the Everett Street intersection, which is Davis, Everett, so right here. So that means let me continue on with this. He went from here and then right there. Isn't that crazy? See, that's why mapping is so important, because look how, everything, you see the story here. She's here, goes down here, gets some eggs, she's headed back up this way. This Tover guy was at this bar, had 5 beers, went to this intersection where there was another tavern, the Lucky Inn. He had 2 beers there, wasn't drunk, so now he's heading home to his house right there. And he says, let me make that a different color though, so that we don't get confused. Make that green. And so he goes to right there. And he says right at that intersection, He saw a man and a woman talking at the bus stop. How much you want to bet there's still a bus stop right there? They never change these things. They're just there for years and years. Let's see. Come on. So he was walking this direction. And I wonder if there's a bus stop right there. I can't tell though. Bus stop. He had her by the arm, Tover said, and I heard her say, "No, no." Tover said he walked on. It didn't really bother me, he said. Howes asked Tover if he had recognized the man. And he said, yes, yes, it was Bob Wood. Tover said he had known the defendant, a janitor at Sam's Billiards, 1845 Northeast 41st Avenue, for a couple of years. You know, they're both janitors. Probably go to the same bars, you know, have a few suds. He said they once worked together on a grocery store venture and occasionally drank together. There you go. See, boom. That's what I was saying. Wood sat impassionately at the defense table as Tover identified him as the man he had seen the night of the murder, with the girl fitting, looks like it said flirting, but fitting the loose description of the slain Miss Ryan. Under defense attorney Wendell Birkeland cross-examination, Tover admitted he had lied to police when they first came to his home and asked him if he had made the anonymous phone call. He had denied making the call and had denied seeing Wood. Let's see. Under defense attorney Wendell Birkeland cross-examination, Tover admitted he had lied to police when they first came to his home and asked him if he had made the anonymous phone call. He had denied making the call and had denied seeing Wood. He also testified that he had even invented a story of overhearing two unidentified men discussing Miss Ryan in the hopes of putting police on a different investigative track. Yeah, this guy's the one that seems like he has something to do with it. Why did you do that? Birkeland asked. Because I wanted to keep out of it, Tover said. So this wouldn't happen. Me telling all this in court, sitting up here. You admit that you lied, Birkeland asked. So now jurors are always told if you believe somebody's lying, you don't have to believe anything else they say. You admit that you lied. The first time, yes, Tover said. Tover said he had telephoned police the day after Miss Ryan's body was discovered because I thought if I'd gone back that night, that girl would be alive. Or you're trying to put the investigation onto somebody other than yourself. I mean, you admit to walking by at exactly the time that she was there. Oh, come on, man. The street incident, December 16th, occurred about 7:35 p.m., Tover said. And he was home by 8. Well, if she didn't leave the house until 8, how the hell did that happen? And it was home by 8 p.m. Miss Ryan had left her home at 7434 Northeast Flanders about 7:30. So they've updated that. The sister with whom she lived had testified, and a search for her was begun shortly after 8. I see. So they started looking for her at 8, but she left at 7:30, and they probably could prove that by maybe when she went to the store, maybe she got there 7:15 or so. Wood has told police that he went to a thriftway market, the same market. Okay, so this is the defendant, right? Wood has told police that he went to a thriftway market, the same market where Miss Ryan went to buy eggs, about 7:30 p.m. and returned to his home at 7514 Southeast Ankeny Street at 8 p.m. the night of the murder. Wow. Jesus, what are the odds of that shit? So look at that. This guy right here. Here, I'll show you the route that he claims. So this is Robert Wood's home. He goes like this. And he goes to the same thriftway. Can't see that one. How about... Yeah. So that was from 7:30 to 8, which actually puts him at the market about the same time that she would have been there. Right? And that's pretty wild. So he goes from 8:30 here and then back home. 7:30 and then back home by 8. She leaves her home at 7:30. Look at that. So she would have got there just a little bit after he did. But also, let me ask you this. Why the hell was he walking this way? See, look at this guy right here. This guy, allegedly. This Stan individual. He is, to me, way more likely because his walk, he's drunk. Who knows what he's going to be doing? We don't even know anything about this guy. But he walks right by that direction where Robert would have merely gone to the thriftway unless he was following her after, let's see, so she would have got there after he got there if they left at the same time. She probably would have arrived 4 or 5 minutes after he got there. So maybe he noticed her, this might be the theory that they come up with. He noticed her in there, then followed her, and then encountered her right here at this building and then raped her, then made it home. But he got, I don't know if it's verified that he got home at 8 o'clock. Yeah, that's not what he said though. Tover didn't say that. He just said he was coming back from the, I don't know what you're saying, Debbie. Tover said he was at, I just gave you the route right up here. He drank some beer here, and then right there saw the interaction, and then apparently he just continued on to his home, where he lives right here. He had known the defendant, a janitor at Sam Billiards, he said they worked together, okay. Where were we at? Because I wanted to keep out of it. First time, yes. So this is when he's admitted the lying. The street incident, December 16th, occurred at 7:35 p.m. and he was home by 8 p.m. Tover said, and he was home by 8. So he got home by 8. Wow, God, this is so weird. The overlap and timing of these three people, Tover, Wood, and Ryan, is just it's crazy. Because look at, he leaves. The incident occurred at 7:35, Tover said, and he was home by 8. Miss Ryan had left her home at 2434 Northeast Flanders Street at 7:30. So that would have, yeah, how would that work? That wouldn't work at all. So if he says it was at 7:35, how would she have gotten all the way to the grocery store, got the 12 eggs, and walked all the way back up there in 5 minutes? When the jog of her friend took 7 minutes. So that would mean if she left the home at 7:30, jogged all the way down to, but again, how do you know exactly what time she left the house? I guess the key point would be, what was the time on the receipt when she purchased the eggs? That would be a huge piece of information right there. So let's see. The street incident, December 16th, occurred at 7:35 p.m., Tover said, and he was home by 8. Miss Ryan had left her home at 2434 Northeast Flanders Street about 7:30 p.m. The sister with whom she lived had testified, and a search for her was begun shortly after 8 p.m. Wood was also Wood had told police that he went to a thriftway market. So this is the defendant. The same market where Miss Ryan went to buy eggs about 7:30 p.m. and he returned to his home at 2514 Southeast Ankeny Street. So that would only give him 5 minutes to go up north for the interaction at Flanders and 28th, or not even Flanders, Everett and 28th, where she was killed. 5 minutes to get there, and then got all the way back home. Although these are things that people are saying. I don't know if there's any, cameras, or, obviously there's no cameras and timestamps and everything. She went to market, the same market where Miss Ryan went to buy eggs. The earlier testimony Tuesday, Dr. Larry Lumen, Multnomah County medical examiner, testified that an autopsy had disclosed Miss Ryan had died of asphyxiation, strangulation with her own blue jeans. There was also evidence of rape, the doctor said. Well, hopefully they kept some of that. The left side of her throat had been cut numerous times, Dr. Lumen said, and there were genital bruises. In the second day of testimony, the jury also heard how a group of family friends found the body of Miss Ryan 2 days after her disappearance. That's crazy. Is this making, it's kind of, there's some weird stuff that doesn't add up, right? Are you guys still there? Anybody there? Anybody there at all? It's so quiet in there. Type in, you guys. Theorize. Do something. Hey, there we go.
Gray, you're so mean. They just want to listen, okay?
I need to have a 3D image of like Mary Lou that I can just pop up so you can picture her making that sound. Officer admits not pursuing twin lead. A Portland detective said Wednesday he never tried to locate a mysterious twin. Is this the one that Tover was talking about? Who was seen by a state witness a month after Wood's arrest on charges of slaying Sharon Ryan, 17-year-old Jefferson High School senior. And a barmaid called to the stand to place Wood in the bar at a certain time, said she had failed to see him, but said she also had failed to see her own son when they were in the bar separately at a later date. Well, that's interesting again, because now she's saying she didn't even see Tover at that bar. Ben Tover. It's Stanley, by the way, everybody. Wood, 24, is on trial in Multnomah County Circuit Judge John Murchison's court on charges of rape and murder. He has pleaded not guilty. Ugh, there goes my stomach. Detective Dennis Fromm said he had not tried to locate a look-alike that the state's witness, Stanley Tover, said he saw in a market after his statements to police. And wasn't that the same market, by the way? So that's kind of interesting. And the detective said Tover had lied several times before admitting he was the anonymous telephone caller who placed Wood near the scene where the girl's body was found. He said he had not checked other facets of Tover's story, his description of visiting taverns before allegedly seeing a couple arguing on a street corner. But he lied to you about making the anonymous telephone calls, said defense attorney Wendell Birkeland. And he lied that he had seen Robert Wood anywhere during the time of the murder. And he lied, so he's claiming he lied. Then Birkeland said he changed the story about making the telephone call and told you he had seen Robert Wood the night of December 16th, and now you believe him? Fromm said he now believed Tover was telling the truth. So, that's a detective. So he's questioning the detective Fromm right here. That's who he's asking the questions to. Tover has testified in court that after drinking tap beer in at least 2 taverns, he saw Robert Wood at the intersection of Northeast 28th Avenue and Everett Street, near where Miss Ryan's body was found 2 days later. He said he recognized Wood as an acquaintance with whom he had once worked and with whom he occasionally drank. Tover told the 8-woman, 4-man jury Tuesday that he saw Wood pulling on the arm of a young woman and heard her saying, "No, no," but admitted he did not intervene. He said his conscience later prompted him to call police. Doesn't this guy, I mean, just after all the years of us going over these cases, doesn't it seem like, it definitely seems like he could be a suspect in this one. I don't even know where they're fighting right now. They're going nuts back there. Up. What are you doing over there, Blue? Go get it. Go get it, Blue. Let's see. Tover testified in court that after drinking tap beer in at least 2 taverns, he saw Robert Wood at the intersection of Northeast 28th Avenue and Everett Street, near where Miss Ryan's body was found 2 days later. He said he recognized Wood as an acquaintance with whom he had once worked and with whom he occasionally drank. Tover told the 8-woman, 4-man jury Tuesday that he saw Wood pulling on the arm of a young woman and heard her say no, no. He said his conscience later prompted him to call police and anonymously suggest they talk to Bob Wood. Did you try to find the look-alike that Mr. Tover later said he saw shopping in a market? Birkeland asked the attorney, defense attorney. Did you try to find the look-alike that Mr. Tover later said he saw shopping in the market? No, I did not, Fromm replied. Did you check Mr. Tover's story about the taverns he testified he had been in that night? No, Fromm answered. God, what a shitty... God. Barbara Casada, an employee of Sun and Rose Cocktail Lounge at Northeast 28th Avenue in Burnside, said she worked from... So that's the second one he went to. She worked from 11:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. on December 16th and saw Robert Wood in the bar sometime during that period. Well, that's much earlier. That doesn't even make any sense. Because he was at this bar at 6 p.m., had 5 beers, and then he went to this one over here. I thought it was the Lucky Inn, though. What's she saying? Is this another bar? Hold on. So this is 28th and Burnside. Where the hell is that? This is Burnside, or that's Gleason. So where's Burnside? Burnside's the main. It's like a really main. There it is. Ah, so this is right next to the. This guy. If they didn't have that other suspect, this would be the one that I would think. So there's another tavern here called Rose's Cocktail Lounge. Somewhere right in this area. That's 50 Lux Ice Cream. A theater. Yeah. So anyways, it's right on in this area. And apparently, maybe this is where he started off the night. 11:30 to 6 p.m. Tover was there at some time. Yeah. Anyways. So he's drinking here, 3 different places apparently. Let me save this one. Oh yeah, we got a lot of pubs and bars over here. You got to drink your sorrows away with all the idiots that run the city. Wood told police he had stopped in the bar. Okay, so we're at the 11:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. on December 16th, and he saw Robert Wood in the bar sometime during that period. So Robert Wood was in there too? Wait, Barbara Casada, an employee of Sunday Rose's Cocktail Lounge at Northeast 20th Avenue. Oh, she saw Robert Wood. That's the actual defendant. Not Tover. Shit. Hold on. Alright. So this is Wood. Okay, so Tover is up here drinking at some time, but look how close that is to Thriftway. So it's interesting. I mean, it does sort of make him interesting, but there's also a big gap because he was back home at 7:30 and then comes back over here. But could not remember seeing him after she started drinking on her own time. So she worked there, and then when she got off at 6, she started drinking from 6 to 9:30. Wood told police he had stopped in the bar for a soft drink sometime between 7:30 and 8. Wow, so that puts him during the time of the murder, where the witness said, you know, she saw him there earlier between 11:30 and 6. Man, this is just a cluster F. Wood told police he had stopped in the bar for a soft drink sometime between 7:30 and 8 p.m. Miss Ryan left her home at 2434 Northeast Flanders Street shortly after 7 p.m. I thought it was 7:30, and never returned. Shown a photograph of the bar's interior by prosecutor Tom Howes, Miss Casada said she could see the entire bar from where she was seated, but could not remember whether she saw Wood during a crucial time. Then Mrs. Casada volunteered the information that she had been in the bar only last Saturday and I didn't see my son in there. She learned later her son Steve had been in the bar playing pool and wondered why his mother hadn't spoken to him. Man, you got the greatest witnesses in the world for the defense, really. Another barmaid, Karen Carlett, testified that she sold Wood either a Coke or a beer at some time, so it's probably a Coke if that's, you know, what Wood said he bought a soft drink, at some time between 7 and 9 p.m. So now that places him in that area during the time that Ryan would have been at the market there. I can't be sure because I don't keep that close track of people. Earlier Wednesday, the third day of testimony in the trial, the jury heard a 45-minute tape recording of an interrogation of Wood, December 23rd, at Detective Headquarters by Detective Fromm and Jimmy Hope. In the recorded statement, Wood said he had come home from his job as a janitor at Sam's Hollywood Billiards, 1848 Northeast 41st Avenue, at about 2:30 p.m. Stopped at Sun and Roses for a soft drink and was home before 8 p.m. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he didn't have a soft drink. It doesn't take 4.5 hours, 5.5 hours to have a soft drink. Yeah, you're... At 1848 Northeast Avenue, about 2:30 p.m. So he got home... No, he got to the bar at 2:30. In the recorded statement, Wood said he had come home from his job as a janitor. Okay, so he came home at 2:30. So maybe job as a janitor at Sam's Hollywood Billiards. And he got home at 2:30. And then he said he stopped at Sun and Roses for a soft drink. And we don't know what time that was based on that statement. And was home just before 8 p.m. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Pat. I actually think that this guy might be the person. You know, it's weird. His name is Tover. We had planned to watch the Dick Van Dyke show at 8 o'clock. Miss Hewlin testified Wednesday. We watched the show, and I went to bed at about 9:30 p.m. In his recorded statement, Wood said he watched the Van Dyke Christmas show and then watched Barney Miller, the Tony Randall show, and the Nancy Walker show. He said he had gone to bed at about 10 p.m. And that's actually looks like a sketch of the courtroom there. And now we're on to the fourth. It's gonna be a long one. I like these. The soft-spoken, gray-haired woman. So this is ex-wife calls key trial witness liar about everything. The soft-spoken, gray-haired woman chose her words carefully. She branded the state's star witness against rape murder defendant Robert Wood, a man who would lie at the drop of a hat. Wow, we know somebody like that in the YouTube world. And a seeker of the limelight who was more interested in the number of cars that showed up at a funeral than he was in the family's grief. Now, this is 1977, the trial. It happened just 2 months after the murder. The trial was just right then. Boom. You know. Maxine Waldrop, whose initial testimony in Multnomah County Circuit Judge John Murchison's court was given outside the hearing of the jury, said she had called defense attorney Wendell Birkeland only Wednesday to offer her testimony. She said she did not know Robert Wood, 24, on trial for the December 16th rape and strangulation murder of 17-year-old Sharon Ryan. But no man, Miss Waldrop said, should be in this kind of trouble because of a man like Stan Tover. Oh boy. Oh, what just an absolute win by the defense to get the ex-wife of Tover in there that says, but no man should be in this kind of trouble because of a man like Stan Tover. Miss Waldrop said she had been married to Tover from 1958 to 1965, and truth didn't mean a thing to him. Oh boy. Oh man. She said she was prompted to telephone Birkeland Wednesday after she read the Tover testimony in the Oregonian. And that's funny because we just read that one. I was actually thinking, I bet you, when it said she came forward on Wednesday, I thought, okay, she probably heard what he said and said, screw that, man. Tover testified Tuesday that he had been the anonymous caller who told police that he had seen Robert Wood pulling at the arm of a young white woman with long dark hair at the intersection of Northeast 28th Avenue and Everett Street the night Miss Ryan failed to return from a market errand. The intersection is near where Miss Ryan's body was discovered. Tover also admitted in court that he had lied to police, denying he was the anonymous caller and fabricating a story of two other fictitious men seen at the same location, but said he had finally admitted the telephone call. Tover's call and the subsequent statement to police led to Wood's arrest. Thursday, Miss Waldrop said she felt compelled to offer her testimony because Stan is a liar about everything. Now divorced from Tover and remarried, Miss Waldrop, and that gives her so much more credibility too. Like, she's already moved on and everything, but wow. Now divorced from Tover and remarried, Mrs. Waldrop said her children by a previous marriage still keep in contact with Tover, and she herself had seen him in 1974. He likes the limelight, Miss Waldrop said. He has to be the center of everything, the one everybody is talking about. Even at a funeral, she said. Wow. He likes all the people around. At my mother's funeral, Miss Waldrop said he was more interested in all the cars that showed up. Then in the family, I mean, he sounds like a sociopath almost. He's just than the family grief. So he liked to talk about the cars more than the family grief. He kept saying, "Look at all the cars. I never saw so many cars." Mrs. Waldrop also said she didn't believe Tover's testimony as carried in the Oregonian, and he had seen the defendant Robert Wood near the scene of the slaying. She doesn't always remember things, Miss Waldrop said. He has a kind of epilepsy, not the falling kind where they tremble. He gets mad, dangerously fighting mad, and then doesn't remember. He said he had beaten her during these attacks, and that when the couple lived in Salem, Oregon for a year in 1960 to 61, she had placed him under citizen's arrest after neighbors had complained of a disturbance at the Tover home. Let me read that again. He has a kind of epilepsy, not the falling kind where they tremble. He gets mad, dangerously fighting mad, and then doesn't remember. Oh boy, man. You get that guy a couple drinks coming home from that bar. Wow. Judge Murchison ruled that Mrs. Waldrop could testify before the jury only on her opinion of Mr. Tover's truthfulness and veracity, and instructed her not to call upon past incidents or discuss the alleged epilepsy. Birkeland contended, so this is outside of the jury then, all this stuff. Birkeland contended Tover's predilection for the limelight, as attested to by his ex-wife, would provide motivation for his statement to police and testimony in a trial, but Murchison overruled him. Is Mr. Tover a truthful man? Birkeland asked when the jury was brought in. No, she replied. Does he like publicity? Yes, she said. He likes attention. If his name is in the paper, he's keeping a scrapbook. Deputy District Attorney Tom Howes drew from Mrs. Waldrop the admission she hadn't seen Tover to talk to since 1974. Before the state completed the case, about 3 p.m., the prosecution had called Michael Howard, a criminalist with the Oregon Crime Laboratory, to question him about comparison of paint flakes found on Miss Ryan's clothes and paint chip samples taken from a closet rod in Wood's bedroom at his apartment at 2514 Southeast Ankeny Street. Howard had originally told police that a paint chip taken from Miss Ryan's lip could have come from the same source, but later retracted the statement. Howard said that in vacuuming Miss Ryan's coat, he retrieved a paint chip about the size of the head of a pin, which he analyzed with an X-ray spectrometer. The chip, he testified, showed 4 layers of varicolored paint, which matched a paint sample police took from Wood's closet rod. You came to the wrong conclusion on the lip chip? Howard said he had, and under Birkeland questioning, said he had not checked paint samples in other apartments in the area, nor had he taken paint chip samples from the crime scene. Noting that the paint chip vacuum from Miss Ryan's coat collar was the size of a speck of dust, Birkeland suggested it might have blown there. It could have, Howard said. After Miss Waldrop's testimony, Birkeland sought again to discredit Tover's testimony about his movement the night he claims to have seen Wood and Miss Ryan, a young woman of similar description, engaged in a dispute. Tover had testified he had stopped at 3 taverns that night after he finished work. Only one tavern owner, Alma Burkett, who, with her husband, owns the Blue Goose Tavern at 2725. Is that the one we already got? I don't think we have it. 2725 Southeast Ankeny. Oh, that's right. Right there. And that looks like it's still there. I mean, it's blue, the building. I don't know if that's still it, but there's another Blue Moon. Oh, this is Blue Goose, though. I bet you that's still the same. Yeah. It's seen Tover at the... Okay, so only one tavern owner, Alma Burkett, who, with her husband, owns the Blue Goose Tavern at 2725 Southeast Ankeny Street, said she had seen Tover at the time Tover testified he was in the establishment. Laboratory tests had shown traces of blood on a pair of Wood's slacks, and criminalist Howard had said tests indicated the blood was of bovine origin. So isn't that like pigs or something? Wood's employer, Sam Chapman, owner of Sam's Hollywood Billiards, said Wood was in training as a bartender and handled food. Chapman testified the beef he serves comes in plastic sacks. Maybe that's beef then, not pigs. The meat is in flimsy wrapper, Chapman said, and there's a pint to a quart of juice in them. Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter to explain it, because it's not human blood and it's not her blood. So what relevance would it have at that point? The meat is in a flimsy wrapper, Chapman said, and there's a half pint to a quart of juice in them. Berkland contended that Wood got the blood on his slacks from wiping his hands on them from time to time because, as Chapman testified, Wood did not wear an apron. Yeah, that's what I said. Did not wear an apron. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Defense elicits testimony of a friend. A scene replete with barking dogs, screams, and a young woman running alone through the fog was evoked Friday as the defense strove to prove that Robert Ernest Wood, 24, was innocent of the rape and murder of 17-year-old Sharon Ryan last December 16th. Deputy District Attorney Tom Howe scored a significant point when he elicited from a defense witness that the witness had been told just recently the content of a television show which Wood claims to have been watching the night Miss Ryan disappeared. Dennis Smurl, 25, had testified that he and Wood's brother, Benjamin, had seen the defendant on the street at about 7:45 p.m. on December 16th and had both gone to Benjamin Wood's apartment at 2514 Southeast Ankeny Street to watch the Dick Van Dyke Show. Robert Wood told police he and his mother watched the 8 p.m. Van Dyke Show and that he later watched the Tony Randall and Nancy Walker shows. Defense attorney Wendell Berkland stipulated that the producers of the Dick Van Dyke, Tony Randall, and Nancy Walker shows said the shows were aired as described, but not as described in TV Guide for that week. Miss Ryan's sister, Mrs. John Wall, with whom she lived at 2434 Northeast Flanders, had testified that Miss Ryan left their home at 7:35 p.m. to go to a nearby market to buy eggs. Miss Wool said she became concerned about her sister's absence after the clock struck 8. Vivian Hewlin, the mother of the defendant, testified Thursday that the Dick Van Dyke Show that night was a Christmas show. The defendant's brother, Benjamin, testified Friday morning the show's content was related to Christmas. When Howe later asked Smurl the content of the show, Smurl said, "Ben told me recently that the show was about what it was about. But you don't remember yourself what the show was about?" Howes asked. "I could watch a TV show and 10 minutes later not remember what it was about." Smurl had said he and Benjamin saw Wood on the night of December 16th, but under Howe's questioning, said he couldn't swear that the night he met the defendant was the 16th. Miss Stanley Wilkinson of 317 Northeast 27th Avenue, another defense witness, testified that she and her husband had gone to bed at 8 p.m. the night of December 16th, and 15 minutes later heard dogs barking and men yelling. She said there were many dogs in the neighborhood. Let's see, where does she live? 317 Northeast 27. Yeah, that's right there. That's a defense witness. So they said another defense witness testified that she and her husband had gone to bed at 8 p.m. and then at 8:15 heard dogs barking and men yelling. Yeah, see, it's almost like when the sister was looking for her, she could have still been alive. I mean, that would have been such a quick, just kind of murder and dogs barking and men yelling. And that's right there. I mean, you're a block away. She said there were many dogs in the neighborhood, but she had never heard them bark like that. It was really strange. A scream roused William Madeira from a half-sleep the night of December 16th. He told the jury in Multnomah County Circuit Judge John Murchison's court. Madeira, 21, a Tektronic employee, lives at 315 Northeast 28. Oh, wow, he lives right across the street. I guarantee it, he heard that. Right there. Defense witness. He said the scream seemed to... What time did he say that was at? Okay. He said the scream seemed to come from the parking lot adjacent to his apartment building, which is right over... Oh, he thought maybe over here. Said the scream seemed to come from the parking lot adjacent to his apartment building. It was in the parking lot that the half-clothed body of Sharon Ryan was found 2 days after her disappearance. But Ernest said he went to the window and looked out, but could see nothing. Possibly one of the last persons to see Sharon Ryan alive was Frank Shear, 28, who said he was visiting a friend at... Wow, this is crazy. Look at all the detail here. 334 Northeast 27. Right there. Oh, so he must have seen her on the way there. Unless he was walking somewhere. Possibly one of the last persons to see Sharon Ryan alive was Frank Shear, 28, who said he was visiting a friend at 334 Northeast 27th Avenue, and from a second floor balcony saw a girl trotting south. Now you have information that maybe she was running. Trotting south on the west side of 27th Avenue. Oh, okay, so her route was a little different. Yeah, her route was a little different then. Huh, interesting. She was kind of cutting across. I think it's like this then. Yeah, maybe something like that. And that's why they did some timing, I guess. Huh. It was in this parking lot that the half-clothed body... Okay, we're done. Possibly one of the last persons to see Sharon Ryan alive was Frank Shear, 28, who said he was visiting a friend at 334 Northeast 27th Avenue, and from a second-floor balcony, saw a girl trotting south on the west side of 27th Avenue. He said he had glanced at his watch because I was thinking about getting home, and he saw the young woman at 8:10. Well, how's that possible? She wasn't running like she was afraid, Shear said. She was just trotting. What's 8:10? I mean, how is that even her? She'd left the house at 7:30, and her sister called at 8, looking for her. That didn't even make any sense at all. She wasn't running like she was... Okay, it was a cold, foggy night, Shearer said, but he noticed she was young with long, dark brown hair. That doesn't sound like that's even her. He said she was wearing what looked like Levi's, had a waist-length, light-colored coat, and a purse slung from her right shoulder. Testimony has revealed that Miss Ryan was not carrying a purse that night. Okay. But Shearer identified Miss Ryan's khaki-colored coat and composition sold running shoes with Birkeland displayed from the state's exhibits. I don't know, man. That doesn't work at all with the timing. Because apparently she left here at sometime after 7, like 7:30. And how is she on her way there at 8:10? Because he said south on the west side of 27. Anyways, you guys were about 80% of our goals every night. So if you feel like you can help out, please do so, or become a channel member, whatever it is. But unfortunately, it's became part of the channel where we're contributing so much money to charities and different things that I now have feel almost compelled to do it, because if I didn't, it wouldn't be anywhere near what we're doing. All right, so let's see. What the hell store are we on right now? There we go. That's not the one. Let me go back to the one I just had open. Said he had glanced at his watch because I was thinking about getting home, and he saw the young woman about 8:10. She wasn't running like she was afraid. She was just trotting. It was cold and foggy. He said she was wearing what looked like Levi's. Yeah, so we already... It doesn't sound like that's going to be her. I mean, it could be her, because some of the stuff she had on was similar. This time here doesn't make any sense at all, though. Right there. Alright, then on the 8th, defense witness in murder trial, call Wood gentlemanly. Robert Wood, 24, accused of the rape murder of Sharon Ryan, 17, last December 16th, Monday, was described by his foster mother as a truthful person who didn't story, like didn't lie, I guess. Mina Bannock, a rancher's wife from Baker testified that Wood was one of 8 foster children she and her husband Jack cared for through the years. He was my last big boy. And the person wasn't right either. Miss Brannock cared for Wood from age 10 through age 19 when Wood joined the armed forces. He was my son as far as I was concerned, the gray-haired, motherly Miss Brannock said under questioning by defense attorney Wendell Birkeland. Mrs. Brannock was one of several witnesses called by Birkeland to testify on Wood's behalf as the defense came to a close. The Baker woman said Wood kept in touch with her family even after he had left military service. She described a trip Wood took by bus to Baker when her husband was injured and hospitalized. Bob went straight to the hospital, kissed Brannock, and didn't even have time to go to the ranch. Judy Hopple, 23, a waitress at Cal's Pharmacy on Southeast 28th Avenue, said that Cal's Pharmacy, why is it a waitress there? Said that she would not describe herself as Wood's girlfriend, but that he often invited her to have a drink with him and used to drive her home. Deputy District Attorney Tom Howes elicited from Miss Hopple testimony that Wood had never made sexual advances toward her, although he had kissed her while they were having drinks. Has he always been a gentleman? Birkeland asked Miss Hopple. Yes. Do you trust him? Yes. Theodora Teddy Green, a Providence Hospital housekeeper, said of Wood, "We're buddies. He's my pal. She and Wood like to go dancing," Mrs. Green testified. "He taught me the young steps, and I taught him the box steps, so we could hit everything on the jukebox," she added. She described Wood as a person who loved music, dancing, and people. Huh? Let's see. Let's see. Left the oven on a hurry. She left the oven on hurry. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if that's the right person. The time doesn't make sense. So maybe they did this whole jogging thing based on an erroneous witness. Because how could she be jogging at 8:15? That doesn't make any sense. What's tomorrow, Paulette? The man was described as a young, big, and driving either a dark blue or black automobile. Okay, testimony also focused on incidents prior to the murder involving a black man's attempt to pick up young women in the vicinity where the body of the Ryan girl was found. The man was described as young, big, and driving either a dark blue or black automobile. Cheryl Clem and Catherine Madsen, roommates who lived in the vicinity of the murder locale, both testified that the man attempted to pick them up while they were returning from a neighborhood store. The incident occurred several days prior to the murder. Mary Loonstein, who also lived in the area, testified that a black man was riding in the area prior to the murder, attempting to pick up women. Detectives testified that the names of several suspects were supplied to them through various sources. Some were questioned, but nothing in the investigation served to link them to the murder. A rebuttal witness was Lillian Schellenberger, Ashland, mother of Stanley Tover. Tover, a state witness. Oh, hey, thanks, Sandra Holford. Some were questioned, but nothing in the investigation served to link them with the murder. A rebuttal witness was Lillian Schellenberger, Ashland, mother of Stanley Tover. That's Ashland, Oregon. Tover, a state witness, testified last week he saw Wood pulling on the arm of a reluctant young woman at the intersection of Northeast 28th Avenue and Everett Street the night of December 16th. Miss Ryan's body was found behind an apartment house parking lot at 315 Northeast 28th Avenue. Testimony from a police witness last week stated that Tover had changed his story several times concerning his knowledge of the case. Ms. Schellenberger testified Monday that her son related to her in December 18th telephone call he had seen a friend pulling a girl away. She advised him not to get involved in the matter. In later telephone conversations, her son identified the friend as Bob Wood. She described her son as truthful. Deputy District Attorney Howes expects to call one final witness Tuesday morning when the trial resumes in Multnomah County Circuit Judge John Murchison's court. Closing arguments are anticipated to be complete by noon, with the jury expected to receive instructions and start their deliberations by early noon. Alright, then we got this one. Hey, Tamara became a freak. Welcome. Alright, in Sharon Ryan's slang, Wood found not guilty of murder. Man, I'm kind of glad he wasn't. I mean, that was such weak ass. I mean, my God. Are you kidding me? Okay, Robert Ernest Wood, 24, was found not guilty Tuesday of raping and murdering Sharon Ryan, a 17-year-old Jefferson High School senior. Announcement of the verdict by court clerk Wes Olson caused a strong ripple of emotion to float out from friends and relatives, forcing Multnomah County Circuit Judge John Murchison to rap his gavel, calling for order. Wood, a former billiard hall janitor, lifted his head and then sobbed briefly on his attorney's shoulder. Pursued by news media representatives as he made his way back to detention in company of police guards, Wood refused to answer questions. However, he was heard to call out with emotion, "It's over. I'm so glad it's over." He then started slamming his hand against the jail elevator door in an impatient move to hurry the elevator. Defense attorney Wendell Birkland, obviously elated over the verdict, said, "I'm thankful the jury reached a just verdict. That was the only verdict in view of the evidence." The 8-woman, 4-man jury deliberated for about 2 hours and 20 minutes. The verdicts were not unanimous, and jurors had to be polled. So I guess they didn't have to be unanimous. The poll revealed counts of 11 in favor and 1 against. Favor of what? Revealed 11 in favor and 1 against from a woman juror on each count of murder. Wow. So 11, it was 11 to 1, and they didn't have like a mistrial shit going on? Wow. So that means 11 people said he was guilty and 1 holdout. But why would he be innocent on that? Counts of 11 in favor and 1 against from a woman juror. On each count of murder and first-degree rape, Murchison declared both verdicts legal. Wow. The defendant's mother, Vivian Hewlin, told newsmen, "I can't tell you how I feel. Happy, happy, happy." She said she had no doubts about the favorable outcome of... How does that... Am I reading this correctly? I mean, it was 11 to 1 for guilt? Or was it the other way around? About 2 hours. The verdicts were not unanimous and jurors had to be polled. The poll revealed counts of 11 in favor of murder, it sounds like. You know, like... But how could that make him innocent, though? You know? It only took him 2 hours and 20 minutes? Like, maybe that's how it used to be, I guess, you know? It had to be unanimous, and it wasn't, and that's just it. Are you sure that's what it's saying, Patty? Because it doesn't, sure as hell doesn't look like it. I mean, that would make more sense to me, but it doesn't say that. It says, the 8-woman, 4-man jury deliberated for about 2 hours and 20 minutes. The verdicts were not unanimous, and jurors had to be polled. The poll revealed counts of 11 in favor of the verdict, probably. I think that's what that's saying. Okay. In favor of the verdict. I see. Okay. So the verdict is not guilty. There was 11 in favor and only 1 person said guilty. Okay. The defendant's mother, Vivian Hewlin, told newsmen, "I can't tell you how I feel." She said she had no doubt about the favorable outcome of the trial because she felt that her son didn't do it, he couldn't do it. The ashen-faced defendant had remained emotionless through almost all the proceedings of the 7-day trial before the verdict was read. It's also weird that it wasn't unanimous, right? Like, usually that one person can cause a mistrial because there wasn't you have to be unanimous. But maybe if it's, I don't know, 11-1 not guilty, you know, that's pretty close to. Yeah. Earlier in the day, Wood had heard himself described in closing arguments as both a man who had perpetrated an utter fraud and one innocent of any crime persecuted while Miss Ryan's killer remains at large. Testimony in the trial included a courtroom screening of the tape of the Dick Van Dyke Show that was aired on KGW. Wood had said he was at home in time to watch the program at 8 p.m. Jurors also visited the parking lot behind an apartment house at 315 Northeast 28th Avenue, where Miss Ryan's half-nude body was had been found. All right. Well, that's why it's still a cold case, because there's no answers. I don't believe that these guys saw Sharon at all. Welcome, Miss Snail Gale. Well, that's why I was wondering if they have DNA. I was going to maybe call over there, see what's going on. I don't know if they'd answer it, but, you know. I mean, it seems like if they had collected evidence and it looked like she'd been raped, you know, I don't know if they did it correctly back then and, you know, did swabs and stored it correctly. I don't know. You know, and then in 2019...
The renewed call for information 43 years after the murder of 17-year-old Sharon Ryan in Northeast Portland. She left her sister's home way back on December 16th, 1976, to get eggs to make Christmas cookies. That was the last time she was seen alive. Her body discovered days later. Ryan had been sexually assaulted before being murdered. Both police and Crime Stoppers are asking anyone with information to give them a call.
Yeah. So, anybody out there has any information, call 503-823-0400. And, as always, tipsters can remain anonymous. All right, you guys. That worked out almost perfectly, a 3-hour show. All right. So thank you guys for being here tonight. I hope you found it interesting. I mean, we got it all mapped out. Looks like, well, hold on a second. Yeah, so, you know, Sharon Ryan was at home. They had said she left home at about 7:30 on, I think it was December 16th, 1976. And she was baking cookies for her father, I guess. And then she wanted to go get some eggs to make the cookies. So left the house at like 7:30 and then made it all the way down to the Thriftway at the time and bought the eggs and was heading home. And then somehow somebody attacked her and her body was found 2 days later in some woods behind the parking lot over here. Hey, thank you, Tamara. Then, not too long after that, they arrested an individual named Robert Wood off of a drunken, quote, eyewitness account of a guy that had drank probably 7 to 25 beers. And he said, oh, yeah, I saw good old, Tover is his name. This guy named Tover, he said he saw this guy, Robert Wood, somebody he already knew because they were both janitors and they'd go, work the same bar circuit together. And so he just kind of came out with that name. And, it just, he was over here at the Ship's Keg Tavern at 6. And then over here at Lucky Inn, he had a couple beers there. Then he said on the way down south here, he saw his buddy Robert Wood grabbing the arm of this girl in this area, and then he later the next day, when he found out there was a murder, he realized that, wow, man, my conscience is getting me. So he called and made an anonymous phone call to say, who it was and so forth. I mean, the guy, he was the worst witness in the history of the world, really. I mean, I don't think you could get a worse witness than that. And I actually don't even believe, I think that he had a much better chance of being the killer than Robert Wood did. Okay, Robert Wood didn't have enough time. This guy, we don't know what the hell he was doing. He doesn't have an alibi. All he has is him telling us all that he was right there. He was right there at the same time that Sharon was walking. And he walked all the way down the same street. So I actually think that if I was looking at this from the beginning and found the guy that made the anonymous phone calls, I would wonder if he had something to do with it. Wouldn't you? All right. Anyways, that's it, everybody. And thank you to... we got the Crypto Will, Peggy Day, and BG became new channel members. Welcome. And Lori H., Jamie McLaughlin with the show-saving double cat eye donation. Then Lily, thank you very much, with another cat eye-ish donation. And then Judy, or Judy, probably Judy. I don't know if it's Grady Judy, though. That'd be kind of cool. Thank you. And then Colin Pendleton is a new channel member, so welcome. Kathy Freidenmaker, Eugenie, Pebs W., Mag, Georgina Stoliker, Billy Juliana. You got to go check out her little personal story on her channel. It's pretty good. Your Gypsy, Mary Glaviano, Pebs W., Courtney Robb, Susanna MacGillapadrick, Sandra Halford, Tamara, Miss Snail Gale. Tamara and Miss Snail Gale became channel members, so thank you very much. And then Tamara, thank you. All right, everybody. So thank you guys for being here tonight. Really appreciate it. And I'm going to go sit down and relax and start stressing out about my getting one tooth pulled. Did you get your tooth pulled, Zozo? It's not too bad, right? They just put the shot in there. I think Jay Case is having a tooth pulled tomorrow too. I'm sure it'll be okay. It doesn't hurt or anything because they give you these shots. And I think you sit there for a couple minutes until you're just totally numb. It doesn't hurt. Okay, good. Awesome. Thank you. It probably just aches a little bit later. It's my upper, this one over here. Yeah. Yeah. And thank you guys, everybody who's supporting the channel, because we got big things that we're doing this year. I know you guys, a lot of you spend a lot of money and, supporting the channel and keeping me going and keeping all the charities and me going, doing what we're doing. And I really appreciate it. But if you can't, if it's something that affects your life, sending in super chats and whatnot, I don't want you doing it. Okay? Yeah, I get. Well, here's the thing. See, I've been on this huge thing where I'm trying to do, get me all figured out, right? Like you remember I had all my toes and my feet were hurting. Now those are way better after I quit eating shrimp. I mean, everything got way better. And then that other toe finally doesn't hurt at all anymore. That had the ingrown toenails. They cut off the sides, put the acid in there. Then I had tests done on my heart again. Then I did a sleep study. I had the colonoscopy. Got the freaking. Every single vaccine known to man. It seems like. Yeah, okay, so tomorrow I get my tooth pulled, and the next day after that I get the my second shot of the shingles vaccine. It's like, God, are you kidding me? Well, shrimp gives you, some people, gout. It has uric acid in it. It's really one of the most painful things you can ever have. Now my right foot feels awesome. Best it's felt in years. Yeah, so, oh yeah, and then I've had eye stuff going on. I get really dry eyes, so I put this stuff in there at night. I'm just kind of a mess. I mean, it's like as soon as you start turning like 50-something, all kinds of shit starts going on. It's going to be determined. But you guys know me, man. I was doing a show with surgery. I might sound like this. Okay, so here's what you got to do. Look at that guy. What a jackass. Look at he's kind of... So it might sound like that if you guys don't mind, but... It does suck getting old. Yeah, it just sucks. It does suck, Yeah. So, anyway, did you get your tooth didn't hurt, right? Zozo, I didn't see what your answer was up there. Cannot believe it's been 17 months. Hey, all right. Amy Fountain, 17 months. Yeah, I'll see how it's feeling. I mean, if it's aching all over the place and bleeding and shit, I don't know. But is it better to have the upper one or the bottom one? Mag? I mean, in terms of pain or something. Yeah, that's true. At least we get old and have these problems. Some of the people that we talk about never even had a chance, Hey, by the way, do you guys watch Netflix? Oh, wait. Okay, so upper is what? That's better? I don't even remember the question I asked. Is upper better? God. Ooh. Doesn't have to numb your whole jaw, just the individual tooth. Wait, it's worse? Come on. Oh, good. Okay, yeah, upper's easier. Yay! See, everybody? So look at that. Carolina girl was trying to make me feel nervous about it. Anyways, if you guys have Netflix, you know what is actually a good show that you would just think, there's no way that could be a good show. Type it in. What show do you think, wow, that's a good show, but how could that possibly be a good show? I'm going to see if you guys come up with the same one that I'm thinking of. Go ahead. Well, it's not worse because of sinuses. It's just it's not even near the sinuses. It's over here. Now, Yellowstone's a good show, but you wouldn't think it would suck, is what I'm saying. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. Here it is. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cobra Kai, man. I know it sounds... Yeah, there you go. Beholder got it. She couldn't have heard me because she typed it in at the same time. Okay? Even though you guys are 20 seconds behind. But yeah, it's Cobra Kai, right? Because it actually is a good show. You look at it and you go, oh, God, are you kidding me? The Karate Kid, these guys and everything. But it's actually really good. I mean, I don't know how they pulled that off or whatever. You actually kind of like more remember the blonde guy in the original one? He's actually my favorite character. He's hilarious, man. He's just... But anyways, if you haven't seen it, you should go watch all the seasons of it. Start from the beginning and go through it. I know, you can't quit watching it. You just sit there and you just keep watching it over and over. And okay, the other night I was like, I'm going to get to bed early, right? And I actually kept watching them because they're only like 38 minutes long, and I watched probably 4 or 5 in a row, and it just, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's just good. There's 10 episodes a season. They're only like 38 minutes long, and yeah, it's good. And what's cool about it is they bring highlights in from all the movies that were made, as part part of the storytelling, because there's somebody that's showing up. You know the sensei of the Cobra Kai, the bad guy that said sweep the leg. He's in the show. You know, he looked a hell of a lot younger back then. This guy looks like he's had about 27 bouts of plastic surgery at this point. But I know it's crazy because you know, Danny and what's the other guy's name? The blonde guy. What's his character name? They're like my age. You know, like. They were my age when they were doing the movies, and now they're my age now. Yeah. Anyways, the blonde guy, what's his name in real life? I always kept thinking Van Patten, but I don't think that's who that person is. Yeah, it's on Netflix, yeah. Cobra Kai. You know, I don't work for them or anything. I'm just telling you, it's actually very, it's like addictive to watch, you know. It's funny too because they make fun of the stuff that was in the movies, you know, like you know, when he puts his hands up in the air like a, I don't even know what you call that one. What was that animal? Shit, I can't remember. Isn't it? Yeah. Who's Ted Lasso? Is that the character that plays LaRusso? Or is that another show? Oh yeah, didn't seem like it was a praying mantis, but maybe it was. I was gonna say that, but I thought it was a bird, like a crane or something. Yeah, like Bad Mojo just said. I thought it was a crane, because remember it was on top of a log. Like that's where Miyagi was. Oh, it's a show. Okay. What's that one about? Yeah, it was a crane, right? See, there you go. See. Yeah, Johnny. Yeah, he's the best character on the whole show. He's so. He doesn't have any technical skills of any kind at all. He just does really stupid stuff, but you can tell he's trying to be, you know, the thing about him, he's trying to become a better person. And yeah, it's weird. You know, I actually like LaRusso way less than I like him now. LaRusso's kind of a jackass half the time, you know. Yeah. Well, Beholder got that one, so. All right, you guys, that's it. All right, a little movie talk there for a minute, but I guess we'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. All right, we'll give it a shot. Hopefully, you know, my lip isn't dripping off to this, because the thing is that it's at like 3 o'clock or something, and might still be numb in there. Hey, thanks, Dreaming Girl.
Thanks, Dreaming Girl.
Hey, were you trying to imitate the accent there, Mary Lou?
Yes, I was, Greg.
Oh. Yeah. All right. See you guys later. Thank you very much. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Hope you guys found that interesting. And see, the thing is we cover tons and tons of cases on this show from all time periods, all years, just totally random cases that are actually really interesting that you'll never hear about elsewhere, okay? Because they just want to talk about the same cases over and over and over. Hey, thank you for all the well wishes. All right. I'm sure it'll be fine. Well, thanks, Mag, Zozo, everybody, for all your nice comments. All right, you guys. See you guys later. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to go to Discord if you're a channel member. There's a link in the community section on YouTube. And don't forget GHI The Missing Network on Facebook. GHI The Missing Network. No, it's not a missing network. It's about missing people. Okay? Yeah, it's a well-run group. It's got a lot of different, tons and tons of missing person cases in there. I guess apparently I also have What's the hell's the name of that social media site that I'm on? I don't use the other ones very much. It's hell, what is it? God. It's definitely not TikTok. What's the one? Oh, Instagram. There it is. Yeah. Yeah, there's an Instagram on there too. Man. Definitely doesn't pop right into my head, I'll tell you that. None of this stuff does. So, there we go. We'll see you guys later. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing
I'll
for
check.
quite a while
I'll
now.
see if I can call somebody about
And during this whole
the
time,
DNA
I have
problem.
not seen one person that is a
Crime dissector from
I'm
Rejector.
a certified.
Hey, Gray, you should call in about the DNA. Maybe they've got some DNA that they want to look
You
into.
try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector.
Yeah, I just said
is
that,
my
Mary.
nectar.
Oh, okay.
Radio's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector, fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector.
With all respect, y'all.
Just remember, I've a temper fucking
Check, y'all.
I have no agenda. I'm
I'm
a
a
pretender,
pretender.
and I'll serve it to you straight without a blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody?
All right, everybody, thank you.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Thank you for supporting the channel and keeping us going. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And be safe out there.
That's right. Be safe out there.
Be safe out there.
Be safe out there.
That's all you guys had to say all night.
No, we wanted to say some things, but you took all of our lines.
I hardly said anything myself too, Mary Lou.
I know, that's the way it should be. You guys suck.
Well, that's not very nice, Mary Lou. You're kind of mean sometimes.
What do you mean, Gray? I'm not mean.
Oh, what a load of crap there, Mary Lou.
What do you mean, Gray? I feel really bad.
Do you really?
Not really.
She had me for a second there. She had me for a second.